Brothers and sisters, as we enter a new season of Advent, it is important that we take time to stop, to take stock, to take time to listen to what God is saying to our hearts, and to renew our past commitments to God and to each other, which we may have fallen short on. As it turns out, I was very blessed to have had my annual silent retreat this last week. By coincidence, it was in the last week of the liturgical year, and just before the beginning of a new one commencing with Advent, a season that reminds us of hope for the future. In recent months, my spiritual director has called me over and over to focus on hope, something that has been somewhat lacking in me of late. I've been with you for just over 4 months now, and it has literally been full on, trying to manage a city parish and a country parish, and spending 2 days of the week in Hakea prison. That and other personal challenges over the same period has sometimes blinded me to the light at the end of the tunnel, the steadfast and unwavering hope that God is paving the way for us into the future. For me, the retreat couldn't have come at a better time, and I have to say, wasn't God so gracious in granting me such perfectly cool and unseasonal weather in the last week of spring? Brothers and sisters, taking an annual retreat is compulsory for all priests, and for good reason. I have to say, having stopped to recollect myself this last week had me thinking it is a pity that annual silent retreats are not also compulsory for all Catholics. Imagine for a moment taking a few days out from your busy lives in the world, with no phone, no TV or internet, no contact with the outside world, just silence, reflection, prayer, spiritual reading. On one hand, it sounds like a wonderful opportunity to rest and be reinvigorated, a time for joy and restoration. But a silent retreat is in fact a very difficult thing to enter into. Naturally, we are social beings, constantly engaging in conversations with each other, interacting through social media and the like, and generally avoiding remaining on our own in silence. If we're forced to stop and be still and silent, we're faced with that which is not so pretty in ourselves. Our selfishness, our pride, our sinfulness, our weaknesses, our failings. When we're living our everyday lives in the world, we tend to paper over all these challenges with the relentless noise and busyness of everyday life. I know that for me, it is often easier to go and weed the garden or demolish a wall than face myself in still and silence for days on end. However, to get close to God and the truth of who we are, we need to take that time out when it is just us, God, silence, and an openness to the truth. Brothers and sisters, the first reading reminds us that we must go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the temple of the God of Jacob, that he may teach us his ways, so that we may walk in his paths. It is not enough for us just to come to church for Sunday Mass to be a good Catholic. We must take the time and effort to regularly go up to the mountain of the Lord, which for us is this beautiful church of St. Bridget's, or in the stillness of a natural environment, or a quiet room of the house where there are no distractions. We need more often to stop and pray and sit in silence, to come to weekday Mass when we can, and even the holy hours on Wednesday and Friday, so that we will avoid being like those people of the Gospel, those in the days of Noah who were eating and drinking and had no idea what was about to take place, and of course were not ready for God coming among them. Brothers and sisters, in the Gospel Jesus says, "Stay awake, because you do not know the day when your Master is coming." In recent years, we priests have been burying lots of people in their 40s and 50s with all sorts of maladies. We will all die one day, some of us young, some old. Will we be awake when we die? Are we ready now, brothers and sisters, to die and face the Lord? During Advent, we recall the first coming of Jesus with joy, an event of 2,000 years ago. But like this Sunday's readings, we will also hear many readings speaking of Jesus' second coming in glory to judge the living and the dead. These days that we live in are the days of mercy, and as we approach Christmas, let's take the time out that we need to take stock, to stop and listen to the Lord, to make the changes in our lives that we need to. Let us pray especially for all of our loved ones who have left the faith, the lost, those blinded and deep in sin, those who through scandal in the church itself have left the faith. Let us pray that they all turn back to the Lord. And let us pray especially for ourselves, looking on the loving baby Jesus in the crib, that no matter how tough our life gets, that we will never lose hope. Hope for ourselves and for all those who have been entrusted to our care. Let us pray that this Christmas the baby Jesus may touch all of our hearts, dissolving and healing the brokenness within us all.